When local growers put great food on Tennessee tables, that's living green. Tonight on Live Green Tennessee, we learn about skateboards made from reclaimed wood at Salemtown Board Co. Then we take a look at the computer recycling program from Goodwill and Dell. And finally, we'll visit a local grocery store that primarily gets their produce from local growers. All this and more coming up next on Live Green Tennessee.
This program is brought to you in part by...
Behind every Pick Tennessee Products logo is a Tennessee farmer who brings you fresh, local food grown with the kind of pride that gets handed down through generations. From now through fall, you can find Tennessee fruits and vegetables on farms and at farmers markets near you. Find your Tennessee farmers at picktnproducts.org.
What makes our state unique? Find out on the new Tennessee Channel, a statewide initiative by your public television stations. Each program is created in Tennessee, about Tennessee, and broadcast in Tennessee.
The Tennessee Channel, Saturdays 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern and Sundays 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on your public television station.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the United States Department of Agriculture, providing leadership on food, agriculture, natural resources, and related issues based on sound public policy and efficient management.
Hello, I'm Melinda Kiefer, and I'm proud to bring you stories from across our great state on Live Green Tennessee. Salemtown Board Company exists to build handmade skateboards while employing, training, and mentoring urban youth in Nashville's Salemtown neighborhood. WCTE's Desiree Duncan visited the shop where these artisans make one-of-a-kind, handmade, solid oak surf-inspired cruisers.
My wife and I moved to Salemtown in 2010. Moved to the neighborhood on purpose. We wanted to live somewhere where there was a lot of obvious need, where we could love our neighbors and make a difference in the neighborhood. There was a great need with the youth in the neighborhood. Not very many positive male role models, not a lot of fathers in the homes. And so we began to just naturally develop relationships with the kids, playing basketball at the community center. We were trying to figure out what kind of business we could start where we could take it beyond just hanging out on the front porch and playing basketball, but where we could more intentionally get into their lives and actually teach them something. So we wanted to start something where we could employ some of the young men, especially in the neighborhood, pay them well, mentor them, and equip them for the future. My buddy Will, who's the co-founder of Salemtown Board Co., also lived in Salemtown. I knew he had a background in woodworking and in surfing. He was also a part of the urban skate culture, and so I called him, told him about the idea, and asked him if he thought we could make it happen, and he said sure. And so a couple days later, we came up with the name. It was kind of obvious. The neighborhood is Salemtown, the shop is in Salemtown, the kids we're trying to reach are in Salemtown, so it only made sense.
A lot of what we're doing here is trying to equip these guys, whether it's through specialized job training, like knowing how to work a drill press, being comfortable around a bandsaw or a drill, or just knowing how to be hands-on with different tools. That's helpful, but if they don't want to do a job that's in the trades, that's fine, because I see kind of the greater aspect of what we're doing here, teaching them to hold themselves to a standard. And that is something that is so important.
Teach them how to work excellently, teach them how to finish a job, teach them how to show up on time, teach them that you can create something beautiful out of nothing with your hands,
I learned how to work hard because I had somebody in my life that said, yeah, you can do what you want with your Saturday, but first you're gonna mow the yard. And you can't go until it's done, and this is what done looks like. And we do the same thing here, we're just doing it with skateboards. It's like, yeah, come work for us, and yeah, you're gonna get paid when it's done, and this is what done looks like. And that skill, just having the eyes, whether it's skateboard, whether it's your lawn, whether it's your homework, whether it's a collegiate degree, like whatever it is, just having the ability to know what good work looks like. We believe that whether you're sanding a skateboard or whether you're taking the SAT, like that skill can overlay into other aspects of life. And so what's really exciting for us to see is that as our company grows and as we're giving them more opportunities to see and experience different things, it's kind of fun to see their minds open to what their possibilities are.
We try to make them smooth on the sides and on the flat side, on the surface.
We knew that we wanted to make skateboards. We knew that we wanted to make skateboards so we can employ and mentor and train the youth in our neighborhood. But the problem was we didn't have any money, we didn't have any tools, we didn't have any wood. My dad had a stack of what we think is over 100-year-old oak that was from an old barn that had been torn down that he had just stacked up in his barn. And so that was perfect. That kind of stuff is expensive, but we got it for free. And so the first wood we used probably for the first 30 skateboards was reclaimed, over 100-year-old solid white oak. Since then, we've established a good relationship with a sawmill that locally sources everything from the Appalachian Mountains. And then we also buy the majority of our oak from a privately owned local Nashville lumber yard.
Being in Nashville, it is a conscious city. And so for us doing what we do, kind of sitting at the intersection of kind of some social justice-y issues, but also we want to make sure that from beginning to end, our product is just good for Tennessee. From the moment we go and pick it up, like we're picking it up from people who love Tennessee. We pick it up from people who love the forests of Tennessee. And so for us, it was important that we could know that we weren't just going to some hardware store picking up something that had been shipped from God knows where, but like we want to know that when we make these boards, from who we hire to where we resource our stuff, most of our supplies are bought from a corner hardware store just right down the road. We love being able to support our neighborhood. We love being able to support small business, and we love being able to go to the source and know that throughout every aspect of what we're doing, it's good for Nashville.
We just passed our 100 skateboard goal, which allowed us to hire our second employee, Brandon. So now we have Brandon and Kendris, who both live in the neighborhood. It's amazing to have started a business where we get to naturally do what we were already doing with the kids in our neighborhood, but also make beautiful, one-of-a-kind pieces of art that are also functional skateboards that you can hang on your wall and never ride, or that you can ride your entire life and give to your kids and they can give to their grandkids, because it's solid wood, it's handmade, it's quality, and they're works of art.
And we've created a space where we can bring in young men and just put a hand on their back and say, like, look what you did. I'm proud of what you did. I mean, I don't care who you are, what neighborhood you grew up in. Like, every young man, like, that's good for them. And I think like every young man can use more of that.
It's about being excellent and making beautiful, functional product, but more than that, it's about the kids and about employing, training, mentoring, equipping urban youth in Nashville.
Goodwill Industries Knoxville is best known for being on the forefront of providing jobs to those who face barriers to obtaining employment. A lesser-known fact is that Goodwill Knoxville has teamed with the Dell Corporation to recycle computers and peripherals, thus reducing the amount of trash that ends up in the landfills on a daily basis. These computers can be dropped off at any Goodwill location, so they're disposed of properly. East Tennessee PBS's Chris Smith profiles this program.
I came to Goodwill way back in 1974 after teaching special ed for a couple years and kind of fell in love with the program. It was a very small, floundering program at the time, and over the years we have grown and been phenomenally successful. Dell started a program in 2004 in Austin, Texas with Goodwill, and since Goodwill is a nationwide program with over 185 Goodwills in the United States, which means literally thousands of Goodwill locations, and Dell being the big corporation that it is, now has the opportunity to use all of the Goodwill locations for folks to drop off their computer equipment for it to be recycled and disposed of properly. It's good for Goodwill in that it fulfills our mission of providing work for folks.
Since 2010, since our first shipment, we have successfully diverted over 1 million pounds of computers and computer peripherals out of the landfill, and we are very excited that this trend is continuing. Each week, each month that passes, we collect more and more materials at our facilities. People are coming up with more and more technology waste as time goes on and technology becomes less expensive. People are replacing what they own. They're really contributing, and this is catching on. They're contributing to keeping us safe and keeping our water streams safe for our future.
Dell and Goodwill chose again to partner together because Dell is an awfully large corporation in offices and stores all across the nation, as is Goodwill. So the partnership opens up the door for Dell and its recycling process for community members in hundreds, if not thousands of communities to drop off their computer equipment to be recycled. And again, the program is very good in that it assists Goodwill in accomplishing our mission of providing work for people in our programs. It accomplishes Dell's mission in that the collection of computers, regardless of what brand or type they are, it's keeping those computers out of the mainstream of going into landfills or being shipped overseas where it is being recycled by children and cheap labor and presenting all kinds of health and other dangers.
Well, every day we get in lots of Dell-related components. We line them up here, we unload them on our working floor, we stack them on suitable pallets. We also wrap them when they're completed, then we wrap them and prepare them for shipment.
I am an ISD production assistant, and I bring in donated goods from trucks and I sort, stack, and ship. My job is important to the environment to keep metal items and utensils and things of that quality out of the water system and out of a hole in a landfill. We worked really hard to reach 1 million pounds, and we were excited and spectacular news when we heard that we made it.
Even though it's a partnership with Dell Reconnect, computer equipment, computers, keyboards, etc., they don't have to be Dell. They can be any brand of computer. It can be anything that connects to a computer. So printers, keyboards, mouse, just anything that will physically plug into your computer or cover your computer, or a hard drive, software, all of that can be recycled.
One of the main benefits of the Dell Reconnect recycling program with Goodwill is that it's free to consumers. Citizens simply need to bring their computer or related equipment by any Goodwill location, any of our attended donation centers, drop that equipment off. Again, it creates work for our folks, and another added benefit is the fact that since Goodwill is a nonprofit 501c3 organization, not only are you not charged to donate your equipment, but you receive a tax write-off should you so choose to have one for your donation.
At Goodwill Industries Knoxville, residents can bring their computers and computer parts to any Goodwill, whether it's a super recycling center, a Goodwill store, a Goodwill material recovery facility, or if it's just your local warehouse. You're welcome to bring those items to Goodwill, and we will make sure that they get included in our Dell Reconnect program and get properly and safely recycled.
I think the biggest way that Dell is different than a lot of the recyclers out there is that all of its processes meet the strictest standards in the recycling business. They're approved, they're monitored from the time the computers and equipment are dropped off until they reach, the end of whatever it is going to be, if they're refurbished or if they're taken apart, reclaimed. Dell ensures that all hard drives, parts that contain any kind of confidential information are destroyed. Dell guarantees that nothing is shipped overseas. Dell ensures that no prison or child labor is used in any of the recycling of any of its computers. It's all part of the contractual agreement and things that they independently monitor.
Through our 1 million pounds recycled, we're exceptionally proud of that. Not only is it a huge mark of items to keep out of our landfills, but also to know that all of this work was done by just 3 staff members, and some former clients, others not. And the improvements that they've made in their lives and the goals that they've achieved have just been amazing to see.
For example, the high-tech baler that we are about to purchase will greatly aid in more than tripling the speed and efficiency of baling materials. We just think that recycling is here to stay, and we want to be involved in it.
The Produce Place has been buying local since 1988 and providing their long-term customers with vegetables, fruits, meats, cheeses, and more from growers and producers all across the region. WCTE's Desiree Duncan traveled to the Sylvan Park neighborhood to learn about this natural food grocery in the Nashville community.
It was 1988 was when Produce Place first opened. But I had thought about it and dreamed about it years before, doing some research on just how to do this, which was just barely a scratch of the surface, because when I got started, it was kind of learned step by step. Like one step would lead me to another, and one door would lead me through another door, and one contact would lead me through another contact, and it just developed from there. The reason I did it was I got fascinated with the flavor of fresh fruits and vegetables. That was the main reason. I would bite into certain apples or certain fruits that were very good, when most of the time they're just fairly good. So I wanted my task, and my challenge was to go out and find the best that I could find on a daily basis and bring it to the masses. Knowing the importance of local produce, our customers have known this for a long time, because we've had some customers and have some customers that have been coming in for 25 years.
I like to shop here because the product is so good. It's local. They take great pride in picking out good items, good food, and it's so versatile. If we go on the other side of the store, you'll see there are all manner of fresh little creamer peas and lima beans, all of it completely fresh, and oh mercy, you can tell the difference when you cook them.
It's not like any other place I ever shopped. It's more like visiting with friends who happen to have a vegetable stand in a store with neat things in it. I love it because it's so small, and he carries good things in all the categories. He doesn't carry a lot of them, but he carries like the best local things. And so I can come in a small store, visit with friends, get the best food in Nashville, and go home. It's just great.
You can pull it back and look at it. It's just beautiful, beautiful corn.
Really, the fresh cycle starts around in the middle of April, with some spring onions and strawberry season, mid to late April on fresh picked strawberries. And if one has had fresh picked strawberries, they can really taste the difference. You know, we'll have growers that will pick them the day before we get them, or sometimes they'll pick them the morning of and bring them in the same day. We do have some meat products. We have some sausage, some hamburger. We have some pork chops that come from Downing Cattle Company. Then we started carrying Benton's bacon in East Tennessee a couple of years ago, and it took real well. The local beef and the local pork, that's something we started within the last year, and it's starting to take hold. And people, it's a difference between that too. They will process it the day before and bring it to us, and our customer knows the difference. The freshness, that's probably our single most common thread with our customers. They recognize the difference between fresh, and they know they get the freshest from being local.
I think if people enjoy good food, and they enjoy food that is in good shape when they buy it, and they enjoy a variety of food, and particularly things that are grown right here or in the counties around us, I don't think there's anything better than that. And that's what eating natural food is all about. Eating good food that's good for you, that tastes good, and it's fun to buy.
If you want the proprietor of a small business to serve you well, you need to serve them well too. So I'm real careful to bring Barry as much of my business as I can, because I want him to be here. As I said, he said that these local peaches were the best he had today.
Store chains, they do a good job for what they have to cover. They do a very good job. However, we're able to do a little extra because of our size, and we're able to communicate stronger with local growers. We'll talk to them in the afternoon, and they'll ask, what do you want me to bring you in the morning? That connection that goes from their farm through our place to the customer is pretty unique. The only thing closer is for the consumer to get it from the grower themselves. Instead of going to the pop-up markets that are around, they'd rather come to us and do a one-stop drop than go back into the field. It thrills me to hear my phone ring and it's one of our growers. Okay, we've made that connection. There's some growers that that we still use here, that we've used for 25 years. And you know, they know what we want, and we know what they can do. And we set our price on what the market will bear, and we keep in mind what it takes to go out and pick a gallon of blackberries or a gallon of raspberries or okra, and all that figures in.
Those are local blackberries, and are they ever good?
But he always has things, even in the middle of winter, that's the best fresh food I can find. So if I want fresh, simple, good food that's not processed, this is the best place in town to get it.
The people that run this place are dear friends now, and I just feel like I'm visiting friends when I come.
People have been growing fresh fruits and vegetables since the beginning of time, reselling since the beginning of time. I hope that's something that stays with us.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Live Green Tennessee, where we take you all across the state into the farms and businesses of those who are making the move to eating fresh, living sustainably, and helping us all be more organic in our thinking and the way we live our lives as Tennesseans. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Live Green Tennessee.
If you would like more information about Live Green Tennessee, please visit our website at livegreentv.org, where you can find everything from healthy recipes to past episodes and more. This program is brought to you in part by
Behind every Pick Tennessee Products logo is a Tennessee farmer who brings you fresh, local food grown with the kind of pride that gets handed down through generations. From now through fall, you can find Tennessee fruits and vegetables on farms and at farmers markets near you. Find your Tennessee farmers at picktnproducts.org.
What makes our state unique? Find out on the new Tennessee Channel, a statewide initiative by your public television stations. Each program is created in Tennessee, about Tennessee, and broadcast in Tennessee.
The Tennessee Channel, Saturdays 6 to 10 p.m. Eastern and Sundays 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on your public television station.
Funding for this program is provided in part by the United States Department of Agriculture, providing leadership on food, agriculture, natural resources, and related issues based on sound public policy and efficient management.